to National Assembly, Buhari tells Igboho and others. Buhari has told the likes of Sunday Igboho, Nnamdi Kanu, and others to channel their grievances through the National Assembly. The president stated this at the inauguration of Kudirat Abiola's Sabongari Peace Foundation in Zaria, Kaduna State on Saturday. Buhari, who was represented by Executive Secretary, Revenue Mobilization and Location and Fiscal Commission Alhaji Mohammed Bello, said the agitators were either ignorant of war or with the history of the war, basically. He said people above the age of 60 will not contemplate going through what happened during the Civil War. I urge those to feel aggrieved to channel their grievances through the National Assembly. The president, however, has vowed that the country will remain united under his stewardship. Stewardship? I don't think that's the right word. He also emphasized the full implementation of the judiciary and local government autonomy, stressing that state governors must adhere to laws and desist from tampering with local government allocations. Okay. Earlier, Governor Nasir El-Rufai, represented by the Commissioner for Education, Alhaji Shehu Mohammed, said many of those clamoring for restructuring do not even understand what they clamored for. When we are in a democratic setting and have a National Assembly in a place that represents every region, every state and every constituency, the need for restructuring becomes inconsequential. But then follow the rules that abide by those, levels of the federal government. Because again, because you don't follow, the structure is there. You guys are the ones that do not follow it. So it makes it seem as though there is no structure. Well, earlier the chairman of the foundation and son to late Kudirat Abiola, Alhaji Jamiu MKO Abiola, said the event was to bring Nigerians together and propel the gospel of unity, peace, and continuous existence as an indivisible entity. Abiola said although his mother is Yoruba by tribe, she was born and bred in the northern part and in the midst of Hausas before finally returning to Lagos, her state of origin. This indicates that wherever you're from, you can still live elsewhere and make a living within the shores of Nigeria. I want to assure you that this project will not end here. It will step down to grassroots level for massive awareness, he said. All right, but I don't know, what? Listen, you say that this is gaslighting, absolutely. Because again, if you guys did your jobs, then there's no need for Nigerians to complain and be like, oh, we need to. Imagine not doing your job you're doing your job so bad that the people realize, oh my gosh, let's even start from the beginning. Where we all know that, yes, there is a structure, but then we choose that, let's start from the beginning. It shows how bad the government is. Because again, everything is structured, but then again, it's like, did the people agree to this structure? Did they agree they wanted to be ruled like this? When did the people have a say in the constitution? Because again, it just seems like as if a constitution jumped out of nowhere and the Nigerians were just expected to follow. And it's like, I don't really think it works like that anymore. And right now, the new wave of Nigeria is like, we're not going to stand for that. And that's just what it is. So again, you can't really say, okay, fine, because you have no knowledge of the war. We don't have to go to a war. If that's your perspective, then fine. But who said there had to be a war? Who said there had to be a war? Exactly. No one said that. I do not know why everyone is going there. There doesn't have to be a war. If you're going to be childish about the situation and get pride involved and want to win or lose something, then okay, fine. But there's literally no point. It is pointless. Why should there be a war? And why should people protest? Why should people protesting and exercising their human rights seem as a sign of anarchy? Are you joking? Because that's the words that they use all the time and saying, okay, fine, this would lead to war. Because that's what they want. And it's like, why are you deeping the situation like that? Why are you making it bigger than it is? It's really not that deep for you to start saying, oh, we're going to teach them in the language you understand. This is coming back from your president. We're going to teach them in the language they understand or give them the shock of their lives. You and who? Who is fighting you, man? The actual terrorists that are fighting you and your people, you don't even use that much vim to tell them off. It's bad, okay? Someone says, sir, remember the Tower of Babel then? People speak one language. That's how they're united. From a bigger country and a bigger world. But not only when the language scattered, countries broke out in accordance with languages and culture. this country doesn't have anything in common. We don't speak the same language. We don't have the same culture. Where's the unity? Speaking in one language with the same people from the same origin and history formed a country not this kind. So someone replies and says, so you expect President Buhari to just wake up and say, oh yeah, I want to break Nigeria? Your mumu don't do a beg. You guys should reason for once. The man says, go to National Assembly. That is the best place to debate the matter and decide the country. Listen, it's so annoying because it's like people that are meant to stick to the rules and follow the structure don't do so. And then when the people are like, since you're not following the structure, let's find another way. And then you go back to the same people and be like, actually, you need to follow the structure. Why should the people do it when you don't do it yourself? And it's like, so you just expect Buhari to wake up and say, I want to break Nigeria. You know, it's not his decision to make. That is where you need to go. That's where you're going wrong. Because we need to have a referendum and the people themselves will vote and decide what they want. It is not Buhari that will make the decision for us. And the fact is, I'm not saying that, okay, separating is the best way or staying together is the best way. But the fact is, the government, they don't listen to the Nigerians. That is where the problem lies. Because you think all of a sudden, Nigerians are like, oh, let's just break the country up. Obviously, with Biafra, that's a whole different story. They wanted to be alone from the beginning, which is justified, and they should not be held against their will. We know that. But then now, we have some factions of, the Yoruba group. Some people, raising, awareness, for example, like Igboho and all that, and actually think, you know what, maybe we need to separate. I mean, are you going to say that for the past how many years they never thought, or they thought of that all along? They didn't. Now, maybe they did, but it was never really made a big thing. Or a massive, let's do this until recently. So again, please, let's not even, because then you're pretending like as if this government is a government that has been consistent in following their own constitution. Please, Buhari, don't be threatening people with civil war. Hausa can't fight Igbos, if not for the West and Southern. But this oncoming war that you're preparing for will bring you down. There should never be a war. There really should not be a war. There is no point. It wasn't even a Nigerian Biafran war. It was a British Biafran war, if you want to be honest. That's a whole different conversation. But, like, it really wasn't. Like, the Nigeria was backed heavily. Let's be humble. Someone says, National Assembly that's in your pocket. Yeah. But the thing is, I just don't understand, because then we are bad by this constitution in which Nigerians don't feel united about. If anything should unite us, it is the constitution. Was it made by the people for the people? Because honestly, why is that all of a sudden, when we want democracy, then we have a constitution and we have to follow the amended 1999? Like, this constitution is now made for people, the players of the game, the politics. Because I don't think there's anything else that benefits the people in the constitution. But then again, our human rights that is backed by the constitution, or maybe it is, because when they word these things and add in technicalities, it may not be. But honestly, our human rights, which is like, seen in the world, so just to protest is a problem. And now you want to start chatting to Nigerians. It's very sad. Please put what you think about this, and don't forget to like and subscribe.